What is up, you sexy ass motherfuckers? Welcome back to yet another Rome 2 Total War battle. In this one, this is going to be the second part of the Galici Corvi versus the DeathBringers. This time around, Galici Corvi is going to be defending, whereas Deathbringers are going to be attacking. Guys, we are getting close to the end of Team Sieges for Total War League, so make sure you guys stay tuned for this battle. And if you guys are curious as to the current standings of each of the individual teams and who's going to be making it over to the quarterfinals, then make sure to go and check out Marketable Skills Discord channel. I'll link that down in the description below. Let's go ahead and look at the army compositions here. So on the attack, we've got the Deathbringers, one of which is playing as Galicic. No. Shit. Why can't I remember these guys' names? Galici? I feel like it starts with a G. Hopefully it'll come back to me. But this is a barbarian faction. Very fun barbarian faction to play. And then we've got Rome also being played here. Looks like we've got plenty of Astati showing their faces so far, but unknown as to where the rest of the Roman forces are. Over on the defending sides, it looks like we've got Roxolani or Sarmania. Oh my god, we got heavy horses just automatically going into the fray, fighting against these steppe noble lancers, trying to get some kills off against them. Not necessarily the cav, but heavy spears going into all of this cav, trying to take them out. But I mean, there's just so much cav. Plus, with the support of Aravachi's Iberian slingers, I don't think that they're going to be able to do too much damage. Speaking of Aravachi, Aravachi is going to be the faction that's played by the second defending forces. A very powerful faction and a very fun faction to play as well. So let's go ahead and look over at the army compositions. We've got heavy spears, Dacian heavy bowmen, plenty of heavy spears to be able to combat against that cav. Noble swords and plenty of noble swords units as well. Very, very powerful forces. And then over on Rome side, it looks like we've got a whole bunch of Stati as well as legionary cohort, and it's unknown as to what the other Roman forces actually have behind these towers. Over here for Roxolani, we've got some Sarmatian horsemen, steppe lancers, steppe armored lancers. I wonder if we've got some steppe noble lancers as well somewhere. Noble horse archers. It looks like he actually brought out all of his archers over here on the other side. And there's the Sarmatian royal lancers, a very beautiful unit, a very powerful unit. Oh my goodness, look at those shields, like those shield shoulder pieces. It's just amazing. And the ram horns that they add to their horses, holy smokes. I would not want to go against these guys at all. They remind me of the Huns almost. Just a very fierce cav faction that I do not want to fuck with. And then certainly, last but certainly not least, we've got Aravachi over here we're bringing Balsakit slingers, Scrutari, lots and lots of Scrutari, some Iberian swordsmen, and let's see if we've got any other units here. Iberian spearmen, a little bit of those, and of course the noble fighters, a very powerful unit ready to hold this front line. They're going to be holding the front gate line kind of by themselves here, while the cav faction, they've got a little bit of support from some steppe armored lancers and some steppe noble lancers, but for the most part the cav faction is going to stay outside, relax a little bit, and wait for a great opportunity to be able to engage with their opponents here. Over here, Rome is kind of forming a little bit. You can kind of see their units popping out here temporarily, but they're forming a little bit of a square here to protect any of their ranged units, which might be, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad idea, but especially with the Lancers can just mow through infantry like it's nothing. So only having one thin line of infantry, sure, you'll be able to throw javies and do a decent amount of damage, but their cav is going to be able to just run through this infantry like it's nothing, knock them all down, get through, and fight against all of these Syrian archers here. And if they're able to just successfully wreck those Syrian archers, it's going to be a rough time for the defenders here. Over on the other side, we've got all the rest of the cav just kind of hiding here, hoping that they'll be forgotten. The Sarmatian horsemen slowly but surely moving through the forest over to the other side here, just walking, biding their time. They're in no rush. And then their opponents are just kind of trying to figure out how they're going to attack while they're being completely surrounded by cav. It's definitely going to be a rough one. And if you hear ice crunching in the background, it's because I'm trying to squish my coffee here. We went over to Black Rock Coffee, a coffee chain that's within Colorado, and really good coffee chain. I don't know if they're anywhere else, but she had leftover coffee that she just didn't want anymore, and we had it in the freezer, so now it's completely frozen and taking its sweet time to get unfrozen. And you guys know me, I need my coffee in my life. Over here, we got the Royal Lancers, 3 units of Royal Lancers, which is crazy. Just a very powerful cav force starting to just kind of move back. They've got their archers behind, and then they've got the rest of their opponents of Galatia. And it's not Galatia. I know it's not Galatia, but the rest of their opponents just completely surrounded here, waiting, biding their time, and waiting for a fantastic opportunity to strike and deal a nasty blow to the attackers here. But yeah, I mean, Aravachi's got a great defense of the Iberian Spearmen. Scrutari with their ammunition and their very powerful hits. They're going to be able to do a lot of damage. They got to be careful with the Royal Lancers, though, because they're in range of being javied. They are just now getting in range. These guys are still kind of setting up, so they're not going to throw their javies quite yet, but they got to be careful, because if they don't move back here soon, those guys could easily move up just an inch and throw their javelins into here. There we go. Now they're going to fall back. Yep, because now we've got javelins. We've got auxiliary Syrian archers actually firing into the Royal Lancers. Rome trying to answer the call and try to scare off the rest of this cab before they get engaged. They got to be... Oh, the Sarmatian horsemen. No! Where were they engaged? It looks like they tried to get in and get past these heavy spears to get into the archers, but they weren't able to knock them down quickly enough, so it looks like they fell here pretty quickly. Now we've got, ooh, perfect, beautiful by the Step Noble Lancers, getting in and getting a nice charge against these Hastati, getting a lot of kills, 105 kills though so far. There we go. Now he's going to fall back and get ready for another charge, though, kind of focusing on them while they're spread out. They got to try to focus them down while they're spread out, do as much damage as they can, because when they're all clumped up together like this, they're going to be a really hard target for the cav to fight, because then a lot of units can just turn around and throw all of their javelin capabilities at them. But now we've got some painted warriors as well as Scrutari coming outside of the walls. 2 units by Aravachi, which is going to be a little risky, especially since Aravachi is pretty much the only one holding the inside of the walls. But they're going to go ahead and sally out with a couple of the units, see if they can bring some units towards them, distract them, and get some support from those cav. Sure, they can get a lot of kills, but they can also potentially get surrounded really easily here. We've got the Iberian swordsmen kind of moving past, utilizing this little gap here to be able to fight against the Hastati, which are frantically trying to get out of this gap. Iberian spearmen are going to get shot to pieces, and now they're completely surrounded as well. I don't know how many kills that they're going to get, but we've got fire going in from the Hastati, going into their own brothers. I mean, these spearmen, this is a really glitchy area too. A lot of people like to use ammo here just because it is so glitchy, so it's really kind of hard to hold because your units go all over the place. And then if you fall back kind of here and here, then you can move archers here, get some great flanking fire on these guys and on these guys as well. So definitely a favored area for the attackers, and the attackers are doing a great job of protecting their archers, keeping units inside of their archers just in case they do get charged by cav, and still trying to get some great frontal and side fire over on these Scrutari. Over here, we've got Cav trying to fight against the heavy spears over here. I think the Archer Cav actually got caught out here a little bit while he was distracted on a different front. But it looks like the Archer Cav over here got a little distracted, took a couple of losses. We got Sarmatian Horsemen kind of moving in to be able to support their Cav, but they weren't really able to get a great charge, so they got to be careful. And these Sarmatian Horsemen, sadly, I believe are going to actually break from the just sheer amount of fire they're coming in from those Dacian heavy bows. Such a sad, tragic loss for the Cav faction, but trust me, they got plenty of Cav left to be able to do some good damage, so we shall see what they do. And now they're just going to continue to do... Ooh, now we've got the Circle of Death going in to be able to continue to fire into the Dacian heavy bows. All of their Cav moving up to be able to get a good shot, targeting those bows, trying to get as many kills on these bows as they can, keep them from firing on the troops inside, especially since Aravachi has no armor. They are heavily susceptible to archer fire. They're doing a great job of moving up some slingers to be able to get some It looks like it's some side fire over on these Astadi as well. These Astadi are definitely going to take losses from rocks smashing right into them. But yeah, they're just trying to do what they can to weaken them. And maybe's over here, great job by the defenders too, kind of distracting these auxiliary and Syrian archers from firing into their melee troops, which is what they really need to save during this battle right now. Just trying to force their opponents to waste their ammo on some slingers while they're on the wall, so they won't be able to do as much damage either. It looks like this artillery is actually might be completely out of ammo. The Cav is going to go ahead and move in, act like they're going for the artillery, but it looks like there's actually a great opportunity for these Sarmatian horsemen to get into these archers. Let's see, come on. Oh, beautiful. And let's see, yep, he's going to move through go charge into the archers, weaken them a ton, get a bunch of kills, start weakening them. There's a nice little gap for the Roman archers. Oh my goodness, the Sarmatian cavalry is going to charge right into these Syrian archers and continue to move through these archers, getting as many kills as they possibly can. And especially since Rome's archers are so pumped up, they're going to go ahead and move in. But no, they're actually going to go over to the other Dacian heavy bowman and start getting some kills on these guys as well. This Cav getting 95 kills so far, and they're just continuing to rack up those kills, getting so many kills on these archer forces. Great move, and now their horse Cav could potentially move up and start focusing down some of these archers as well, while most of the enemy infantry is distracted here. Great move by the Sarmatian horsemen. I would definitely say that is worth the loss of the Sarmatian horsemen here, getting 166 kills so far and just doing so much damage to these bows, both the Syrian heavy archers and the Dacian heavy bowmen. Great job by this weakened Cav as well, trying to get their money's worth and get into the rest of these archers, get as many kills as they possibly can. We've even got some archer Cav moving in to start getting some damage, and we've got the painted warriors and Scrutari over here trying to support their allies and continue to distract them, fighting against the heavy spears. They were able to get in and start fighting against some of these Dacian heavy bowmen as well, just utilizing the fact that their opponents have to micro in so many different areas at one time to be able to try and out micro them and get as many kills as possible. We'll see if this archer Cav, so this archer Cav is actually going to go ahead and chase down this spear unit and ensure that they don't come back, because if they still have that, oh, maybe not. Let's see. I don't know if this archer still has any ammo, but if not, then he should definitely charge into these troops. But we've got the rest of the archer Cav firing into the Roman general, firing into the Syrian archers, trying to get as many kills as they possibly can. The painted warriors are taking a lot of fire here from the Dacian bowmen. Great move by the attacking forces, trying to defend their forces as much as possible. It's hard to micro this much Cav. Definitely not an easy feat. So Cav doing a great job of trying to continue to micro to the best of their ability and get as many kills as they possibly can. And on the inside, the Iberian swordsmen, great job by the attackers as well, really not letting up, keep continuously putting pressure on Aravachi, because if they can take this initial point and get inside of here, the Cav is going to not necessarily be useless, but they're definitely going to struggle a little bit inside of these city streets, more so than they are out here. It looks like the noble horse archers, I don't know, I keep saying that they're going to go after these spears to make sure they don't come back, but it looks like they keep turning around looking for good opportunities. We've got more Cav quickly trying to move over this way to be able to support what's left of their Aravachi brethren, but can they make it in time? I don't know. These Dacian heavy bowmen are, I believe, out of ammo, but it looks like this Cav is going to go ahead and move around and try to get some good flanks on these heavy spears and try to break the rest of these troops, or help break the rest of these troops before they can get a completely surround these Scrutari. So we'll see. The noble lancers starting to move in, charging. They were looking to charge into these heavy spears, but they actually got caught out by another unit of heavy spears. They need to keep moving. They're getting focused down by archers. They need to be careful, keep on going, or get the hell out of dodge. And it looks like these horse archers are kind of struggling a little bit too. Great archer fire here, actually taking out a unit of auxiliary Syrian archers and now focusing down the next unit as well. Really using their archer Cav to the best of their ability and trying to keep these archers from firing at their ally. And up here, the Scrutari doing a fantastic job of holding We've got the Iberian swordsman with 88 kills starting to break, but we've got some more swordsmen close behind, ready to move in to be able to continue to plug this gap. But we've got a lot of troops actually starting to break over on this right side. They either got to get more troops in or get ready to be able to fall back to a different position. But it looks like they're actually starting to run low on troops as well, so they got to be careful about that. These Scrutari are actually getting chased down by the Noble Sword General, and now they actually have the Iberian Slingers going up on the walls to be able to get a nice fire down over on these Noble Swords. These Cav needs to look out. They're about to get charged by the Heavy Spears. Run! Beautiful. He just noticed just in time. They almost got caught out by that spear. That could have been tragic. And now we've got the Archer Cav starting to be chased down by Heavy Spears as they're focusing down these archers. Dacian bows now having to turn around and support their allies. We've got Cav coming in from the settlement, going out to be able to take out these heavy bowmen, as well as the Syrian archer, and now getting a nice little a little flanking charge on these noble swords, which is beautiful to see. Absolutely love to see it. And the Romans are now moving their legionaries backwards to be able to continue to put pressure over on this side, because they know that it's going to be in their best interest to be able to try and break through the side and make their way into the settlement. Over here, we've got the Cav. Cav's been weakened a little bit. They've taken a little bit of losses. These Royal Lancers are taking a little bit of fire here from the Syrian Heavy Archers, which they got to be careful of. They are kind of out in the open here. Could be a trap because these Hastati most definitely still have their javelins left. So we'll see if they take the bait, but somebody needs to go back and take out these auxiliary and Syrian Archers, but they're probably so focused on trying to... Oh, trying to get a nice little flanking shot while they're super close to their opponents. And we've even got the general moved up. The Sarmatian Royal Lancers moved up and in the fray, trying to get as many kills as they possibly can. 37 kills so far. Oh, now he's trying to get out of there. He was able to successfully break an archer unit. And he's actually going to be able to get out of there as well. Well done. But he's going to take a little bit of fire there from the Noble Swords. They're going to get caught out. They got to keep running. They're going to keep taking ranged fire. Come on, they got to get those Royal Lancers out of there or else they're going to lose their general. Oh, if they don't move out here now, I think they might be dead. They're completely surrounded. They're taking a whole lot of fire. And, yep. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if the general is still alive in this unit. But that was rough. They could have saved a lot more cav during that one. But again, it's just so hard to micro so much cav all the time. So, ooh, I'm thinking if that general isn't dead, then I will be very, very surprised. I'm trying to see. I don't see the general inside of this unit unless it's maybe that guy or that guy. I don't know, but I think the general may have actually fallen during that engagement. But now we got the archers firing at the flanks of all of these troops that are trying to chase the general down. These archers are really just trying to do as much damage as possible to give their allies a good chance of taking out a lot of troops. The Scrutari over here having 83 kills so far, starting to break against just the sheer amount of Noble Swords that they're fighting against. I mean, we got 2 units of Heavy Spears, 2 units of Noble Swords fighting against 1 unit. The Scrutari, other unit of Scrutari close behind, trying to get in there to support their brothers in arms, maybe come in to cycle out this unit so that way this unit can use whatever's left of their ammunition. But they want to keep this position because they have a great angle with these Balsakis Slingers. 177 kills so far and still firing, doing a fan-fucking-tastic job of doing a lot of damage against these troops. These Noble Swords are starting to break with 20 men left. Probably 1 or 2 more good volleys from that, and they will be dead. Now we've got archer fire coming in from the Noble Horse Archers. Heavy Spears trying to stop them, but getting some great flanking shots on these legionaries and really supporting their allies inside of the settlement. In this endeavor, really just trying to do as much damage as possible. We've got the rest of the Sarmatian Royal Lancer from this specific unit finally falling, which is sad to see. They only had 33 kills. Let's hope that the rest of this cav can really do a number on their opponents. But our Avachi's starting to run really low on troops. We've got 1 Scrutari left. We got a couple of nobles, I think. Noble fighters left, but will they be able to take this? They are starting to break the Noble Swords of the Barbarian faction on the attacker side. It looks like it's primarily Rome left. So we'll see if this cav can really help them take out Rome. We got the archers quickly trying, the Dacian heavy bowmen quickly trying to get back to their lines to be able to survive here, but these cav are actually going to go ahead and catch the archers that had broken and come back to the battle outside of their lines and be able to fully take them out and make sure that they stay broken, which is beautiful to see. The noble archers doing a great job again of supporting their allies, getting some great flanking fire from the outside on these noble swords, trying to get all of these elite units broken so that way their more elite, their allies' more elite units can really start to get some kills, especially those noble swords, those noble fighters. I mean, just get so many kills, rack up so many kills, and he popped up Headhunt, which is going to do a huge number on these guys. The general, excuse me, the general's not going to go in because the Scrutari is beginning to break with 148 kills. General's going to go ahead and move in and continue to fight against the legionaries and break them. We've got the noble sword general of the barbarian faction coming in to be able to support their other noble sword units. So we'll see how much damage they do. But yeah, the noble sword fighters, or the noble fighters of Scrutari, have to stay in the fight now. They are all that's left of the infantry forces. They're going to actually have to stay in the fight and hold the line and hope to try to get as many kills as they possibly can. But we do have the cav trying to fire into the sides, into the flanks, into whatever crevice that they can to be able to try and take out all of these troops. I believe they're focusing down the general now. If they can take out that general and force a huge morale loss with the rest of the barbarian forces, that would be pretty nice. Even though the barbarians don't necessarily have the most troops left, it would still do a huge number on these forces. And looking at Rome's comp, it looks like Rome chose to bring a lot of Evocati cohort, spam here, legionary cohort, legionaries, and Hastati. So a pretty typical Roman army, and their general is pretty weakened too. 36 out of 40 left here, allowing their barbarian allies to really take the brunt of this attack right now. Sitting back, relaxing, and really just enjoying the show, and that's really what Rome is good at doing, is letting others fight their battles for them. Great move by Aravacis, completely surrounding this really fresh Hastati unit, getting a lot of shots in and completely breaking them, and actually starting to try to plug this hole. So now they're actually beginning to break a lot of these forces. We've got a lot of forces from the attackers actually breaking and falling back. Still having the flag, so they still have a chance to come back, but if they break outside of this line too far, then the cav can come out, clean them up, and make sure that they do not go back. And these archers, again, are doing a great job of getting a lot of flanking fire over onto these troops. Noble swords trying to get as many kills as possible. 171 and 220. Oh, it's noble fighters. 171, 148 with those noble swords so far. The Balearic Slingers being out of ammo with 227 kills, going in to be able to try and hold the line, allow these noble fighters to kind of freshen up a little bit, and just hold back this general unit as well. Rome over here sending in some fresh legionary cohort to be able to fight against what's left of the Scrutari I was about to say Iceni, but Aravaci. So let's see how much damage that they do. The cav going in to be able to continue to finish off all of these breaking troops, trying to make sure that they don't come back. Rome not allowing the cav to just freely move around. They're going to go ahead and charge in, take the offensive to their opponents, and get some great javelin shots off onto their opponents as well. So now this heavy spear unit is completely broken. They need to go in and finish off breaking these Hastati before they cause too much damage as well. We've got a heavy spear trying to actually stop them from doing so, but the archers are going to go ahead and circumvent them and just try to get as much damage as they possibly can. Legionaries that had returned to the battlefield now have to fight against the mighty step noble lancers. The noble lancers should be able to fight or win this battle, but they're really trying to do what they can to be able to weaken the attacking forces as much as possible from the outside. Looking at the defending forces, where they're running really low on troops. We've got some heavy spears actually moving in, trying to get into these Iberian slingers. These slingers are completely out of ammo, so they're going to go ahead and charge into these heavy spears, try to take out these heavy spears before they're able to take out the rest of these slingers. And with the tower support, they should be able to do so. But Rome also has successfully broken through Aravaci's last melee unit over on this side, so now they're going to be able to start pushing in, and Aravaci is really starting to crumble here. So it's going to be a really rough fight for them. Are they going to be able to take this battle? I really don't know here, guys. Aravaci is trying to hold this line valiantly with their Iberian slingers, but they really just don't have any troops left. They're going to have to fall back this noble fighter unit with 250 kills while their general holds off the rest of these forces. 280 kills so far. The balance of power is not looking great, but I have certainly seen it be a lot worse before too, so we shall see. Legionaries moving up and around, starting to actually flank these noble fighters as well. Going ahead and pushing up against, trying to scare off the rest of those slingers, but now the Romans can actually turn around and completely surround these noble fighters. Over here, the Cav is really doing what they can to be able to break as many troops as possible, using what's left to do as much damage as possible. But now the Romans are playing the smart move of getting the rest of their troops inside of the settlement, so that way they can just kind of guard some of these choke points and make sure that the Cav can't just keep pinging off of them, because that is what's really going to do damage whenever you're playing a Cav faction inside of a defensive standard. You want to try to do as much damage as you can while they're outside of the settlement. In a smaller settlement like this, I mean, in a bigger settlement you have more room to maneuver, but this kind of settlement, like your vend, is really going to be the outskirts here. Now, the Cav faction still has some archer units left. They still have the Step Noble Lancer unit left. And Arvachi still has... their general is gone, so they're just kind of focused on a couple of weakened melee troops as well as their slingers, so we'll see what they can do if they can pull this off. I don't know, guys. This is looking pretty rough here. We've got a lot of relatively fresh legionary cohort, and the, oh my goodness, the Noble Sword General is the general looks like he is still alive somehow after all of that fighting. 211 men left. He's going to go ahead and fall back. He's sick of this bullshit. He's going to fall back and let the rest of his troop, or his Roman ally, finally pick up the sword and take some of the weight off of him, because he has seen a lot of fighting during this battle. He needs some rest, some long, well-earned rest during this one. And now we've got the Cav, the Noble Horse Archer Cav, charging into the Roman lines, trying to keep the gate open so that way the rest of his Cav can get inside, holding them off while the towers actually continue to shoot at them too, which is huge. Those towers are going to be able to do a good amount of damage to this Cav, and they have 127 kills. They're actually doing a lot of damage to these troops as well, which is really cool to see. Let's see, now we've got another unit of Cav moving in to be able to fight against these legionaries. Let's see if they cycle out their horses at all. Looks like they're actually just going to keep them in here. They're just trying to do whatever they can to break these legionaries. Now the rest of the legionaries are starting to move in to be able to attack this settlement. We've got legionaries moving in on the flank. Legionaries moving in on to the side as well. This is going to be a really tough one for Arvachi to hold, just because he's so low on troops right now. But can he hold long enough for this Cav to continue to do damage against the enemy forces? I do not know. The Cav is going to go ahead and charge into the Noble General and get revenge for how many men that he has killed. Cav is just going to keep on continuing to ping off of these troops and try to get as many kills as possible. I would almost move these Noble Horse archers to fight against Legatus. If they can kill Legatus, I mean, I know that the Romans have the ability to really keep up on their morale here, but if they can kill Legatus, that would be huge. And that archer Cav should either fire at these guys while their backs are turned, or start firing at Legatus. But yeah, we shall see. Oh, these archer Cav actually still have ammo, so the archer Cav are going to get some good flanking fire over on the Avocati cohort, and they're really trying to do what they can to distract these troops. We've got the Noble Fighters successfully breaking one of the Roman troops here, but sadly we have these Scrutaris beginning to break with 170 kills against the might of the Roman Empire, Avocati cohort, and Legionary cohort. The Balearic Slingers are trying to do whatever they can to do as much damage as they can, but their troops are not going to hold for long. They need to get out as many rocks as they can now before their troops fall. Because as soon as those troops fall, those Roman troops are going to move into the settlement and start going after any surviving barbarians that are in their way. The Noble Fighters doing a great job of getting a lot of kills against this Avocati cohort. They are exhausted, so they're not going to be able to do as much damage, but still, I mean, they are Noble Fighters. They were bred for battle. They have spent their entire life trying to fight, learning how to fight, and really just learning how to wield a sword. So they are going to be able to get a decent amount of kills, even though they are completely exhausted. We've got the Balearic Slingers charging into the Legionary cohort, trying to stop them from charging into the backs of their Noble Fighters, valiantly fighting against these Legionary cohort. More Legionary cohort starting to charge into the rest of these Iberian Slingers. Slingers still have a decent amount of ammo. They have 61 kills, so I can only imagine that they still have a decent amount of ammo here, just trying to get as much fire into these Avocati cohort as they possibly can. He's got his ally, again, outside of the settlement, trying to just distract as many units as he can, get as much damage off as he can, but it's a rough time for the Cav. I mean, they're going to try to do whatever they can to be able to support their ally, but this is a really tough battle. We've got the Balearic Slingers finally beginning to break against the Legionary cohorts. Got the other Iberian Slingers fighting against this Avocati cohort, but beginning to break. And really, it's just all that's really left is the Noble Fighters and the remnants of the Cav. And as soon as the attackers take this settlement, the Cav, I mean, they're not going to be able to do anything about it. So this Cav is just going to, again, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. And there it is, guys. There's the mass breakage. So it looks... Oh, the sniffles, guys. It looks like the Deathbringers are actually going to go ahead and take this battle. But what a battle to be fought. Definitely one for the history books. Let's go ahead and look at the kills here. So we got Raifu. Oh, my goodness. Aravachi getting 2,614 kills. Rome getting 1,674, Lemurex getting 1,541, and Ruvat getting 1,238. 291, 358, 235, 228, 130, 130, 117, 175, 148, 165, 184, 101. Even the that's the Iberian Swordsman. Iberian Swordsman getting 89 kills. Rome, just seeing 118, 322, 137, 112. Looking at the Cav and Lemurex Cav, 131, 193, 172, 107, 195. And last but certainly not least, we've got 220, 118, 104, 237, 188, and 152. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched it to the end, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to reach that big 300 subscribers by the end of February. If you could help me reach that, I would love you forever. If you guys also enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. It helps me out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. It helps my videos to be able to reach more of you sexy ass motherfuckers. But guys, I love you all, and I will see your sexy asses here again soon. Peace.